About your first assignment. So your first assignment asks you to create a UML class diagram based on the following requirements. Right? You are given a problem statement. The problem statement is about building a course management system very similar to Blackboard. We're going to call it Whiteboard instead. So you would imagine all the different concepts that would be associated with a whiteboard. Okay, you have courses, you have modules, you have all sorts of content, you have students, you have faculty that can author these courses. Students can enroll in these courses. They can look at their grades. They can look at their assignments. They can submit these assignments. They can so this is a description, the problem statement of the system. It describes the system. Some of these things are very explicit. Some of the things are very vague. All right, and we will be answering some of the questions about some of these vagueness on the Piazza. So please ask questions throughout the week, and we'll make our best to confuse you. I mean to be clear on what. So what you're asked to do is to do the exercise that we did in class here, right? You're going to be listing all the different nouns, all the different verbs, all the different verb phrases, okay, and identifying where you might have binary or three-way relationships or four-way relationship, okay, so you'll identify all the nouns, all the verbs. You'll also identify where you might have inheritance diagrams, right, where you have, for instance, you might have students, and students might be either graduate students or they might be undergrad students, right, that might have certain things that are common to one another, but certain things that are very specific to each one of them, right? You might have also whether things are composed of others, so you have lots of one-to-many relationships, many-to-one relationships, okay? Whether you'll be going back and forth on whether certain things should be classes, certain things should be attributes. So for each one of these, you need to show us, right, your train of thought on making some of these decisions. Okay, where you first come up with a first approximation of a class diagram, right, and then show us different snippets of class diagrams as you make decisions, and back them up with your own train of thought and what is your decision making process, right? Also, some of the data types are very explicit, that are strings or numbers. Some of them are not explicit, so you have to choose or make a best guess, right? Ideally, you would make everything as strongly typed as possible. So even though varchar and strings capture everything, right? Ideally, you want to be as specific and as narrow as possible, right? So if it's something is better captured as a date, choose a date as opposed to as a string, okay? Cardinality, you'll show us what, if there's a one-to-many, many-to-many, if two or three are participating. Also, remove any inadequate or redundant relationships. So, explain to us why certain things might be inadequate, certain things are redundant. Also, if there's a many-to-many or there's a three-way relationship, you'll need to reify it and replace it with an equivalent class, right, that has references to all the other classes, right? And then prose, meaning prose means your good use of English as you explain yourself, okay? So use paragraphs and sentences to explain your thought, right? Don't just give me class diagrams, right? Don't just give me the class diagram, right? You won't get a full credit, right? We want to see, several class diagrams. Maybe start with one big first initial class diagrams, and then several smaller diagrams as you make different decisions of going one way or another. And then at the end, again, give me the resulting class diagram. Make sense? Very much like we did in class today. All right, so that's the first assignment. All right, thank you.